Hey everyone, we need to talk about this because Bitcoin is about to break out to about $65,000. Let's start by looking at the weekly map. But first, please subscribe and like my video so the algorithm knows I'm here. After looking at this weekly picture, we already know that Bitcoin is still going down. With lower highs and lower lows, you can see that both the trend and the price action have been going down. That being said, we might see the stochastic and the RSI turn back to being strong this week and next. Since April of this year, the RSI hasn't been bullish again, and the stochastic hasn't been bullish since May of last year. This place has been empty for a very long time. On top of that, the MACD is losing speed as it goes down. We might now be ready to become more bullish. That's the big maybe, but what we talked about needs to happen this week. That breakout right there is going to be really hard to do. And to be honest, this is likely to happen later today or tomorrow before the end of the weekly candle. After that, we'll have to wait until next week to really break through that $65, 64,000. We already understand what's going on. There's an interesting story in the daily picture. Because of this, I think you have a chance to buy right now. The last time we traded together, it was because the MACD finally turned green. We bought here and sold here, and it took us about 20 to 30 hours to make money, which is how we normally do things this time of year. Also, some of you guys did really well when you shorted yesterday and you made some good money with this today, but that weekly chart or this daily chart is still strong. The MACD, RSI and stochastic are still green and things are still going well. And in the past, when this market has been going down, every time that MACD turns green along with everything else, we have a pretty good move. This was the last one. A pretty smart move. What's wrong with us is that we keep having these short periods of lower highs, right? We had a high, a lower 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 high. And I would say that Bitcoin really takes some pretty large drops whenever we get too close to these earlier highs. And this is where the trade has the most risk. Here's where Bitcoin could really change the story. It could start going up until the end of Q4, which would mean that we'd be above $80,000 to $90,000 by December. It's going to be tough. We have a lot to worry about, but rate cuts may be just what we've been looking for. Let's talk about it some more. Given that we've pretty much already sold our stocks, you would expect this to be a chance to buy. Then you can just ride this breakout up to $64,000. That move is going to be easy. You may buy now or wait for the price to rise. You will both make money because once it breaks out, it will go up unless there is some crazy news. Based on what I've heard so far, I don't think there will be any big surprises. 25% base rate cut. From then on, it should only be the Singapore events with token 2049. There shouldn't be too much going on here, which is how I'm kind of seeing it right now. I'm not sure if I want to buy some now or wait a little longer. I think I'll wait a little longer until that big move comes along. I think some big moves will happen on the 4-hour chart. This pushback has already been talked about. Could you please get rid of these little wavy lines? Let's get rid of that too. And that tiny little thing right there. Okay, we had our dip. Bitcoin was turned down and after that it dropped about 2% or about $1,200. You can see this going back up a bit now. The 4-hour pace is going down a little bit here. It went down right here, but it still came back up. The 4-hour pace doesn't worry me too much, but you can see that we are getting a bit stretched too thin. So what needs to happen here is the same as what needs to happen over here. A very strong and violent pop, and that pop is where you guys will really make money. Because I don't want to buy right now, I'm thinking about just waiting for that move to happen. If it comes up out of the blue, I might miss it. If you don't want to wait, this trade will have a lot of danger. It's a risky trade because your stop loss is set at $57,000, which means you could lose about 4% on this deal and you'll only get 7.5%. So the trade there isn't quite like a 2-to-1 relationship. Some people might not like it as much as I do, but I think I want to see this play out a little longer and look for a little more consolidation. I'm going to buy the next breakout that we have on this type of consolidation. You can see that we're getting a little weaker here, which is my biggest worry. This is going to be a higher risk trade. It would be great if we could break out here on the hourly chart. If we start making a move and end up here, we'd be back around 60,500. I might make a small move at the end of the day, but I want to see the daily chart have a confirmed finish first. The breakout should take you back up here once the daily chart has a confirmed close, which should happen either tonight or tomorrow. At that point, you should be more aggressive and feel more sure about buying. Just to $65,000. It's about 64,000 right now. I'm going to say 64,200. I'm not crazy about 65,000 because of what we just talked about. When we get too close to these lower highs, we get smashed to the downside. Taken down, destroyed, destroyed. As seen over here, it was destroyed, right? We don't really want to be destroyed that way, do we? We should try to buy this area over here, even if it's not the breaker, and ride that wave. If we get too close, we can move here. With the news and other things going on, what we might lose might gain a little steam in our favor. I don't want to take that chance though. The simple way to get, it's up to you if you want to call it that. Get your fix. We might break out if we go over 65, 66,000. Buying it on the rise or right now is still the easiest way to do this. Let the wave sell part of your position ride out and then scale out. Leave the rest of your position alone for now and see what happens. Then you move your stop loss up a bit in case it goes back down. You basically bought it back where you bought it, so you're even with the rest of the money. You still made money on that trade though. That seems like the easiest way to handle this. Right now my main worry is waiting to see if we will be able to escape. Take a look at this 15-minute chart. There was a nice drop right there, but it was quickly picked back up. Prices are now moving sideways again, but progress needs to be made quickly. I'm waiting for a pattern to appear and then I'll be content. I don't trust these easy ones right now. That doesn't look like something I want to see. I need to see something really cooking and forming before we have a breakout. We could go back up, back down, consolidate, and then have a breakout here. If that happened, I would probably buy this breakout and see if it holds through here. It's possible that my stop loss is very close by. I think I'd have it down here instead. Please excuse me. That is wrong. I'd have it down here and then I'd wait and see. It's okay if it comes back down and fails. I'm ready to make that trade. This is an interesting thing I was looking at with Market Cipher. Pay attention to this tip. The daily picture for his Market Cipher is still showing that this is a bad place to be. The buy signal that came over here a while ago can now be seen. Things still seem to be going well. On the 4-hour line, there is a small sign that prices are going down. A little. The hour. Once more, some signs aren't very strong right now, but they're there. At this point, I'm just going to wait. It looks like I'll start a long today or tomorrow. I'll let you know because I'll be live when I do it. After that, we'll put our money on hold and wait for a big Bitcoin rise. Either it will be a good trade or a bad trade. I hope the move goes well because we still have the daily momentum on our side. It's just that at 65,000 miles, we're getting pretty close to the sun.